Today, I'm lucky enough to be sitting once again behind a Joyful Noise snare, and it's always an exciting day when that happens. Unfortunately, this snare, like the others I've shown you in the past, is not mine. This one is available through West Coast Drum Shop right now, but it'll probably be sold by the time I'm done making this video. These have been very, very hard to keep in stock, but I had to grab it from next door and sequester it away for the day just so that I could document it and show it to all of you. So the game plan is I just want to give you a little bit of backstory into Joyful Noise, tell you why this snare in particular I think is so cool, and then most importantly, of course, I want you to be able to hear it. So let's get into it. So Joyful Noise snares come out of Colorado via Kurt Waltrip, and they sort of occupy this upper echelon of snares, even in the custom world, where they're just kind of a cut above for many different reasons, above something that you might get off the shelf or even that you'd get from a lot of custom companies out there. There are many, many little features, and there's just an intense attention to detail and incredible fit and finish that you don't find even in most other custom drum companies. So let's talk about some of those features and some of the specific features of this drum. This is a 6.5 by 14 ferromanganese steel seamless shell drum with nickel over brass hoops, nickel hardware overall. You can see we've got a center bead, which is very Supraphonic-like, and then also sort of Supraphonic-like, we have this rolled over edge, but it's kind of rolled over a little bit extra. It's a 10 lug drum, they're all tube lugs, and they are nickel finished, which is always such a nice touch in my mind. And then the throw off is a custom Joyful Noise throw. It has the feather symbol on it and works beautifully, and it's just a very nice touch for a high-end drum company. When we flip the drum over, we see pure sound snare wires, and we also see that the snare beds are relatively deep but relatively narrow, which is kind of the opposite of what we'd be getting with something like a Dinette, which has very wide and deep snare beds in order to accommodate the 42 strand snare wires. This goes in the other direction and is actually going to work better with fewer snares. It is, as you'll hear in just a second, still extremely articulate, and you know what? Why don't we just stop talking? Let's hear the drum with a few different tunings. So a couple things I want to mention before we wrap up here. Hopefully it's coming through, but this drum sounds absolutely incredible. And equally as important, kind of to me, how it sounds is how it feels. I don't know if you've ever noticed that sometimes drums can kind of feel more like you're playing on a tabletop, and some of them almost feel more like you're playing through the drum. It's like a played in sort of feel, which is kind of hard to describe, but hopefully you know what I mean. This absolutely has that sort of played in feel, almost like a well-worn pair of jeans. So it not only sounds great, obviously, but it feels great to play as well. I think a big contributing factor to why it sounds so good is the brass hoops. Brass hoops are usually more expensive than steel hoops that everyone else is using, but definitely in this case, I think that they are well worth it because this drum, it sounds similar to other steel drums that you've probably heard before, but there's just so much more. It's like steel drums in general have a lot of overtones and can tend to be ringy. I wouldn't describe this as ringy. It definitely has all of the bright overtones that steel normally has, but they all sound so sweet. They all work so well. So again, hopefully that's coming through in the recording, but I can guarantee you that this drum sounds absolutely incredible in person and it feels just as good. So thanks for coming along with me and checking out this incredible one-of-a-kind drum. I guess there's a small chance that you can check in with West Coast Drum Shop and see if this one's still available, or you can maybe get on a waiting list for the next one that's going to come through. But regardless, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.